Good morning, students. In the previous sessions, we have seen what is probability, what are its basic concepts, what are the different definitions of probability. And we have seen some of the important theorems of probability. Till now here in this session, we'll see some more theorems of probability which are based on conditional probability and Bayes theorem, and also based on pairwise and mutually independent probabilities. So here first theorem based on the conditional probability. This is the statement of the theorem. For any three events A, B and C, it is given that P of A union B given C is equals to P of A given C plus P of B given C minus P of A intersection B given C. Now how to prove this theorem? To prove this theorem, we will be using addition theorem of probability for two events. So what is the addition theorem of probability for two events? P of A union B is equals to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Now I will multiply both the sides of this probability property with intersection C. Each of the event with intersection C. So I can rewrite this as P of A intersection C union B intersection C, which is equal to P of A intersection C plus P of B intersection C minus P of A intersection B intersection C. Now divide both the sides with P of C. When we divide both the sides with P of C, we'll get this in this equation. P of A intersection C union B intersection C by P of C is equals to P of A intersection C by P of C plus P of B intersection C by P of C minus P of A intersection B intersection C by P of C. Now here in LHS side, this A intersection C union B intersection C, I can combine these two and can write it as A union B intersection C. So P of A union B intersection C by P of C will be equal to, now this is again conditional probability definition. Okay, so P of A by B is equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. Same formula we are using here. P of A intersection C by P of C will be P of A by C. Similarly, this is P of B by C minus this is P of A intersection B by C. So here this LHS again I can write it as P of A union B given C is equals to P of A by C plus P of B given C minus P of A intersection B given C. So hence this theorem is proved. Now next theorem, for any three events A, B and C, P of A intersection B complement given C plus P of A intersection B given C is equals to P of A given C. Okay. Now we'll see proof of this, how to prove this. To prove this, we are considering this LHS. LHS it is given as P of A intersection B complement given C plus P of A intersection B given C. Now here we'll be using again conditional probability definition. So as per the definition of conditional probability, I can write this as P of A intersection B complement intersection C by P of C plus this also similarly using conditional probability. What is conditional probability? P of A given B is P of A intersection B by P of B. So here also you have P of A intersection B given C. So I am writing it as P of A intersection B intersection C by P of C. Since both the denominators are same, I can write this as P of A intersection B complement intersection C, P of A intersection B intersection C by P of C. Now here you have B complement and here you have B. When you combine these two, you will get P of A intersection C by P of C. So P of A intersection by P of C is P of A by C. So which is equal to RHS. Next theorem, third theorem. If A and B are independent events, then you have to prove that A and B complement are also independent. A complement and B are also events, are also independent, and A complement and B complement are also independent. So if A and B are independent events, then you have these three also as independent. That means if A and B are independent, Then A and B complement are also independent. A complement and B are also independent. And A complement and B complement are also independent. So how to prove that? We'll see it. So what is the first condition? We have whenever two events are independent, if A and B are independent, then P of A intersection B will be equal to P of A into P of B. So this is the one condition, you have to remember it. For two independent events, P of A intersection B is equals to P of A into P of B. So how to prove that? First, we have to prove this, that A and B complement are also independent. That means to prove that these two are independent, what we have to prove? We have to prove that P of A intersection B complement is equals to P of A into P of B complement. That we have to prove. So to prove that, I am taking this P of A. P of A I can write it as P of A intersection B complement plus P of A intersection B. Because these two will get cancelled, you will get only P of A only. So P of A is P of A intersection B complement plus P of A intersection B. So here what we want this. So I'm taking this to the LHS side. So what I'll get? P of A intersection B complement is equals to P of A minus P of A intersection B. When I'm taking this intersection term to the LHS side. Now here again I can rewrite this as P of A minus. Now since A and B are independent events, this P of A intersection B, I can write it as P of A into P of B. So here you'll get P of A minus P of A into P of B. Now in these two I have a common term P of A. So here I am taking common as P of A. I'll get 1 minus P of B. So P of A intersection B complement is P of A into 1 minus P of B is nothing but P of B complement. So this is into P of B complement. So here we got A intersection B complement is equals to P of A into P of B complement. It implies what? A and B complement are also independent. Similarly, we'll prove for the second one. That means what we have to prove? A complement and B are also independent. That means what we have to prove? A complement intersection B is equals to P of A complement into P of B. That we have to prove. So what I'll do, we'll consider P of B. Same as what we have proved in the first bit, same thing we have to follow in second bit also. So P of B is equals to P of A intersection B plus P of A complement intersection B. So here we want this probability. So I'll take this one to the left side, the first term to the left side. So I'll get P of A complement intersection B is equals to P of B minus P of A intersection B. But since these two are independent events, I can write this as P of B minus P of A into P of B. Again, I have P of B as a common term. So I'm taking P of B into 1 minus P of A. Now this P of 1 minus P of A is P of A complement. So here also we got P of A complement intersection B is equals to P of A complement into P of B. So it implies what? A complement and B are also independent events. Now we have to prove this third bit. What is the third bit? We have to prove that A complement and B complement are also independent. That means we have to prove that P of A complement intersection B complement is equals to P of A complement into P of B complement. That we have to prove. So how to prove that here? So what we have to find? P of A complement intersection B complement. This is nothing but P of A union. This is nothing but P of A, it should be P of A complement union B complement. So this is equal to 1 minus P of A union B. So 1 minus P of A union B is what? P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. So here I am simplifying this. You will get 1 minus P of A. This minus into plus will become minus. Minus minus will become plus. So plus P of A intersection B. Now here again I am rewriting this expression as 1 minus P of A minus P of B plus, because these two are independent, I can write this intersection term as the product of two individual probabilities, that is P of A into P of B. Now this is 1 minus P of A. In these two terms, in the third and fourth term, I can take P of B common. So minus P of B, if I take common, I'll get 1 minus P of A. So here after simplification, you'll get 1 minus P of A into 1 minus P of B. What is 1 minus P of A? P of A complement. 1 minus P of B is P of B complement. So we got P of A intersection B complement is equals to P of A complement into P of B complement. So it implies what? A complement and B complement are also independent. events. Next theorem is, if A, B and C are mutually independent events, then A union B and C are also independent. That we have to prove. It is given that A, B and C are mutually independent events. Then A union B and C are also independent. That means what we have to prove? We have to prove that A union B, this, and C are also independent. That means P of A union B intersection C should be equal to P of A union B into P of C. So here that's what I have written here. To prove means, to prove that A union B and C are also independent, we have to prove that P of A union B intersection C is equals to P of A union B into P of C. Now how to prove this? We'll consider this LHS side. P of A union B intersection C. I'm simplifying this. You get P of A intersection C union B intersection C. So using addition theorem, I'm considering this as one event and this is another event. So using addition theorem for two events, I can rewrite this as P of A intersection C plus P of B intersection C minus P of A intersection B intersection C. Now since A, B and C are mutually independent, it means they are also pairwise independent. So here P of A intersection C, I can write it as P of A into P of C. P of B intersection C, I can write it as P of B into P of C. Minus P of A intersection B intersection C will be P of A into P of B into P of C, because they are mutually independent. So here in all these three terms, I have a common term P of C. I'm taking that P of C outside as common. We'll get the remaining terms as P of A plus P of B minus P of A into P of B. Rewriting this as P of A plus P of B minus, because they are independent, I can write them as P of A intersection B. Now the terms which are in this square brackets, this is nothing but an addition theorem. So this for two events. So this I can write it as P of A union B. So I got P of C into P of A union B, which is equal to RHS. So hence A union B and C are also independent events. Now next theorem is, if A, B and C are random events in sample space S, and if A, B and C are pairwise independent and A is independent of B union C, then A, B and C are mutually independent, we have to prove. So what he has given that there are three events, A, B and C in the sample space, and it is given that A, B and C are pairwise independent, and it is also given that A is independent of B union C. What we have to prove is A, B and C are mutually independent. That means to prove mutual independence, what we have to prove? P of A intersection B intersection C is equals to P of A into P of B into P of C. This we have to prove. Then those events are called as mutually independent events. So here what we are given, I am writing this here because it is given that A, B and C are pairwise independent. It means what? A intersection B is equals to P of A into P of B. B intersection C is equals to P of B into P of C. And P of A intersection C is equals to P of A into P of C. Because they are pairwise independent, you will get these conditions. Third, what is given? A is independent of B union C. That means what? P of A intersection B union C is equals to P of A into P of B union C, because they are independent. Now I'll take this condition only, this third condition, what he has given. He has given that P of A intersection B union C are independent. Okay, so I'll take LHS of this third condition. So this is LHS. Now this, after simplifying, what you will get? P of A intersection B union A intersection C. So again, I'm considering this as A intersection B as one event and A intersection C as another event. So I'll get P of first event union second event. Again, we'll be using addition theorem for two events. So this will be written as P of A intersection B plus P of A intersection C minus P of A intersection B intersection A intersection C, using addition theorem of probability for two events. So because they are pairwise independent, this A intersection B, I can write it as P of A into P of B, A intersection C as P of A into P of C, minus this intersection term as P of A intersection B intersection C. Now this I am denoting it as equation 1. Now I am taking LHS, RHS of this third condition, that is P of A into P of B union C. Now P of A into P of B union C, I can simplify this. P of A into, again addition theorem for two events, this will be P of B plus P of C minus P of B intersection C. Now simplifying this, opening the square brackets, I'll get P of A into P of B plus P of A into P of C minus P of A into P of B intersection C. So here again P of A into P of B plus P of A into P of C minus P of A into, again P of B intersection C, it is given as P of B into P of C. Now substituting this 1 and 2 equation in this third condition. What is the third condition? P of A intersection B union C is equals to fourth condition, P of A intersection B union C is equals to P of A into P of B union C. So I got this LHS term as this equation 1. I am writing LHS side, that equation 1. And this RHS P of A into P of B union C I got as equation 2. So that I am writing on the RHS side equation 2. Now here the common parts P of A into P of B, P of A into P of B will get cancelled. P of A into P of C, P of A into P of C will get cancelled. This minus minus will get cancelled. We'll get P of A intersection B intersection C is equals to P of A into P of B into P of C, which is the third condition, which is the final condition for mutual independence. So here it implies what? A, B and C are mutually independent events. Next theorem, for any two events A and B, it is given that P of A intersection B is less than or equal to P of A. P of A is less than or equal to P of A union B. P of A union B is less than or equal to P of A plus P of B. This we have to prove. Now to prove this, we know that A is equals to A intersection B complement union A intersection B. We have taken this in the previous theorems also, which we have discussed in this session. So A, I can write it as A intersection B complement union A intersection B. Now taking probability on both the sides, I'll get P of A is equals to P of A intersection B complement union A intersection B. Now here P of A is equal to, because these A intersection B complement and A intersection B are disjoint events. So using axiom 3, they are mutually disjoint. So in using axiom 3, this will be equal to P of A intersection B complement plus P of A intersection B. That is the axiom of additivity. Now from axiom of positivity, that is axiom 1, we have this P of A intersection B complement greater than or equal to 0. So when this is greater than or equal to 0, it implies what? P of A is greater than or equal to P of A intersection B. Now I am denoting this as equation 1. Similarly, we can prove that P of B is greater than or equal to P of A intersection B. How we can prove? Instead of A, we have to take P of B equal to P of A complement intersection B union A intersection B. Using that, you can prove this condition. So similarly, we will get P of B greater than or equal to P of A intersection B. It implies what? P of B minus P of A intersection B is greater than or equal to 0. Now we know the addition theorem for two events as P of A union B is equals to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. This is second equation. So it implies what? P of A union B, because this P of B minus P of A intersection B is greater than or equal to 0. If this is greater than or equal to 0, it implies what? P of A union B is greater than or equal to P of A. Or P of A is less than or equal to P of A union B. This is equation 3. We have taken P of B minus P of A intersection B is equation 2. Now also from this equation 2, I can write it as P of A union B is less than or equal to P of A plus P of B. Using this, P of A union B is less than or equal to P of A plus P of B. This I am denoting it as equation 4. Now from equation 1, 3 and 4, combining these 3. P of A intersection B is less than or equal to P of A. P of A is less than or equal to P of A union B. P of A union B is less than or equal to P of A plus P of B. Next inequality, you have Boole's inequality, which is an important inequality, Boole's inequality. What is that inequality? First we'll see the statement. What is the statement? For n events E1, E2 up to En, we have probability of intersection Ei for I equal to 1 to n is greater than or equal to summation of P of EI minus N minus 1. And the second inequality is probability of union of EI, I is from 1 to N, is less than or equal to summation P of EI. These two we have to prove because this is a generalized probability of generalized events. We'll prove this using principle of mathematical induction. We have discussed earlier also in the previous sessions how to prove these general theorems. So what is principle of mathematical induction? We have to prove that it is true for n equal to 2 events. It is true for n equal to r events. Then we have to prove that it is true for n equal to r plus 1 events. And that is what is principle of mathematical induction. So here first inequality is you have to prove P of intersection EI is greater than or equal to summation P of EI minus N minus 1. So how to prove this? First I'll take n equal to 2 events. For 2 events, if I'm taking the 2 events as E1 and E2, by addition theorem we have P of E1 union E2 is equals to P of E1 plus P of E2 minus P of E1 intersection E2. But also from probability properties, we have that probability should always lie between 0 and 1. So it cannot exceed 1. It means what? This P of E1 union E2 should not exceed 1. It means what? P of E1 union E2 is less than or equal to 1. But what is P of E1 union E2? This is this one. So I'm in place of P of E1 union E2, I will substitute this. So it will be P of E1 plus P of E2 minus P of E1 intersection E2 less than or equal to 1. Or I can also rewrite this as P of E1 plus P of E2. This one I'll bring it to LHS, so it will become minus 1 less than or equal to this intersection term. I'll take it to RHS side. So it will be P of E1 intersection E2. Again, I can rewrite this as P of E1 intersection E2 is greater than or equal to P of E1 plus P of E2 minus 1. In this generalized form, if I want to write, I can write it as P of intersection EI, I is from 1 to 2 because we have taken only 2 events, greater than or equal to summation P of EI, I is from 1 to 2 minus this one, I can write it as 2 minus 1. So now again this is of this form only, first inequality form. It means the result is true for n equal to 2. So let us suppose the result is true for n equal to r events. So what I'll write? P of intersection EI, I is from 1 to r is greater than or equal to summation P of EI, I is from 1 to r minus r minus 1. Now we have to prove that the result is true for n equal to r plus 1 events. So that means what I have to consider? Probability of intersection EI, I is from 1 to r plus 1. I can split this into 2 events. One is intersection EI, I is from 1 to r. Intersection r plus 1th term, which is ER plus 1. So this is greater than or equal to, because using the first equation, what we said, every probability should be greater than or equal to 0. So this will be probability of EI plus probability of ER plus 1 minus 1 greater than or equal to this again using equation 2. This inequality we got using equation 1. This inequality using equation 2. This instead of intersection EI 1 to R, I can write this as summation P of EI minus of R minus 1 plus P of ER plus 1 minus 1. So here I can write this as greater than or equal to summation I is from 1 to r plus 1 P of EI minus of r plus 1 minus 1. So again this is of this form. The first inequality form implies the result is true for n equal to r plus 1. So hence by the principle of mathematical induction, the result is true for all positive integral values of n. So till now whatever theorems we have proved, we are seeing that main theorem which we are using is addition theorem for 2 events. So now the second inequality, what we have to prove, probability of union of EI is less than or equal to summation of P of EI. So how to prove that? First again we have to take n equal to 2 events. So when you take n equal to 2, if I am taking E1 and E2 events, we have P of E1 union E2 equal to P of E1 plus P of E2 minus P of E1 intersection E2. That is again, as I said, addition theorem of probability for 2 events. Now here what we consider is axiom of positivity. That is probability, any probability should be greater than or equal to 0. So here also P of E1 intersection E2 is greater than or equal to 0. That implies what? P of E1 union, if this is greater than or equal to 0, that means this probability will be less value. So P of E1 union E2 is less than or equal to P of E1 plus P of E2. Or in generalized form, I can write it as probability of union EI. I is from 1 to 2 is less than or equal to summation I is from 1 to 2 P of EI. So it is true for n equal to 2 events. Now we'll assume that it is true for n equal to r events. That is P of union EI, I is from 1 to r, is less than or equal to summation P of EI, I is from 1 to r. Now we have to prove that the result is true for n equal to r plus 1 events. So that means what you have to find? You have to find probability of union of EI, I is from 1 to r plus 1. This we have to consider. Now this r plus 1 events, I am splitting into two events. One is r events, another one is r plus 1th event. So I can write this as probability of union EI, I is from 1 to r, union ER plus 1. Now using equation 1, union I is from 1 to r is less than or equal to, see here, this is E1, now this is E2. Compare with equation 1. So when this is E1, this will be probability of union of EI, plus when this is E2, probability of ER plus 1. Now again this union, probability of union of EI, I is from 1 to R is equation 2. So in place of this union, I'll write it as summation P of EI, I is from 1 to R plus P of ER plus 1. I'll combine these two now. When I combine these two, I'll get summation I is from 1 to R plus 1 P of EI. So it is true for n equal to R plus 1 events. So hence by the principle of mathematical induction, the result holds good for any positive integral value of n. So this is Poole's inequality. Now next, one of the important theorem is total probability, which we will be using it in Bayes theorem. So before proving Bayes theorem, you should know what is total probability. So this is the statement of the total probability. Let E1, E2 up to En be a set of events associated with a sample space S with P of EI not equal to 0. That means it is a positive probability, which is obvious. It is a positive and it is not equal to 0, and they form a partition of S. That is the sample space. Let A be any event associated with S, then P of A is summation of P of EI into P of A given EI. That is total probability. Now how to prove this? This P of A is known as total probability here. Now how to prove this theorem? For this we'll consider this Venn diagram. Here it is given, in the statement it is given that E1, E2 up to En are a set of associated events associated with a sample space with P of EI not equal to 0, and they form a partition of S. That means they are mutually disjoint events, and these events divide the whole sample space into different partitions. So each partition will consider as one event. Okay? And A is contained in this sample space S. So here from the Venn diagram, we see that E1, E2 up to En are n partitions of the sample space such that EI intersection EJ is a null set. There is no common part between these two events. Between two adjacent events, you don't have any common part. So that's why the intersection term is null set. And I is not equal to J. Also, each probability of this event is not equal to 0. So from this Venn diagram, since all these E1, E2, En are partitions of S, I can write S as E1 union E2 union En. That means when I combine all these partitions, I'll get the sample space S only. So S I can write it as E1 union E2 union union En. So generalized form, I can write S is equal to union I is from 1 to N EI. Now for any event A, I can write A is equals to A intersection S. See, this is the common part. So A intersection S is nothing but A only. So here for any event A, I can write A is equal to A intersection S. But S I got union of EI. So A intersection union of EI. A intersection, what is union of EI? E1 union, E2 union, union EI. So simplifying this. A intersection E1 union A intersection E2 union A intersection En. Now take probability on both the sides. So I'll get P of A equal to P of A intersection E1 union A intersection E2 union so on union A intersection En. So taking probabilities inside, we'll get P of A intersection E1 union P of A intersection E2 union P of A intersection En. Now we are using the multiplication theorem. What is the multiplication theorem? P of A intersection B is equals to P of B into P of A by B. So same formula I'm using here. P of A intersection E1 equal to P of E1 into P of A by E1 plus P of E2 into P of A given E2 plus so on plus P of En into P of A given En. So when I'm adding all this, I can write it as a generalized form. P of A equal to summation P of EI into P of A given EI, where I is from 1 to n. Hence proved. This is the total probability theorem proof. Now we'll see Bayes theorem. One of the important theorem of probability is Bayes theorem. So if E1, E2 up to En are n mutually disjoint events with P of EI not equal to 0, then for any arbitrary event A, which is a subset of union of EI, such that P of A greater than 0, we have P of EI given A equal to P of EI into P of A given EI by summation P of EI into P of A given EI. This is the statement of the Bayes theorem. Now how to prove that we'll see here. Now here it is given that A is a subset of union of EI. If you follow total probability, this proof will be easy. So it is given that A is a subset of union of EI. That means A is contained in this union of all EIs. So A is equals to A intersection ui. Or this union, I'll take it outside, I'll get union of A intersection EI. Now since all events E1, E2, En are n mutually disjoint events, implies what? A intersection E1, A intersection E2, A intersection En are also disjoint events. So by addition theorem of probability, that means when I take probability on both the sides for this, I'll get P of A equal to P of union A intersection En. Or probability of A intersection E1 union A intersection E2 union A intersection En. When I'm taking probability inside, P of A intersection E1 union P of A intersection E2 union P of A intersection En. So P of A intersection E1 plus, because it is union, you'll get here plus, and they are disjoint events, so there will be no intersection common terms in these events. This one I can write it in general as P of A equal to summation P of A intersection EI, I is from 1 to n. This I'm denoting it as equation 1. Now also by multiplication theorem, we have P of A intersection EI is equals to P of EI into P of A by EI. This is equation 2. Now in Bayes theorem, we have to find this probability, P of EI given A. Now as per the definition of conditional probability, P of EI given A is P of A intersection EI by P of A. So here numerator I'm writing as it is P of A intersection EI. But from equation 1, what we got P of A? P of A as summation P of A intersection I. In place of P of A, I'm writing as summation P of A intersection I. Now what is equation 2? P of A intersection EI is equals to P of EI into P of A given EI. So wherever I have this probability A intersection EI, I'll substitute in case of that P of I into P of A given EI. So that is what I have done here. P of EI given A will be equal to, in place of this, P of EI into P of A by EI by summation I is from 1 to n, P of EI into P of A by EI. Hence, it is proved. So there are certain remarks in this Bayes theorem probability. Bayes theorem, okay, what is those remarks we'll see. See, we have seen this probabilities P of E1, P of E2, P of En. All these are termed as a priori probabilities. What are a priori probabilities? All these are termed as a priori probabilities because priori means before. So why we call them a priori probabilities? Because they exist before we get any information from the experiment itself. Okay, the probabilities which we know before we gain information from the experiment itself, that is known as a priori probabilities. And the probabilities P of A given EI are called as likelihoods. Likelihood means what? This probability indicates how likely the event A will occur under the assumption that each and every a priori probability will occur. Okay, that is why they are called as likelihoods. And this probabilities P of EI given A are called posterior probabilities. Why they are called posterior means after. So here they are called posterior because they are determined after the results of the experiments are known. So you have these three terms in this theorem: a priori probabilities, that is individual probability, P of E1, P of E2, P of AN, likelihoods, P of A by EI, then posterior probabilities, P of EI by A. We'll see some problems based on Bayes' theorem. See, in a factory, there are two machines manufacturing bolts. The first machine manufactures 75% of the bolts, and the second machine manufactures the remaining 25%. Now, from the first machine, 5% of the bolts are defective, and from the second machine, 8% of the bolts are defective. Now, suppose a bolt is selected at random. What is the probability that the bolt that is selected is manufactured from the first machine, given that is defective? That is the probability you have to find. So here what is given? Even two events are given. One is bolt manufactured by first machine, another one is bolt manufactured by second machine. One more thing is given. What is the third event? That the bolt is defective. So here I am denoting E1 as bolts manufactured by machine first machine, E2 bolts manufactured by second machine, A is the defective bolt. Now in the problem what is given? The probability of the bolts manufactured by first machine is 75%. So P of E1 is 0.75. Similarly, P of E2 is 0.25. And the probability that machine 1 manufactures defective bolts is 5%. So P of probability is what? Probability that a defective bolt is manufactured by machine 1 is 0.05. Similarly, a defective bolt manufactured by machine 2 is 0.08. Now, what the probability you have to find? Probability that the bolt selected is manufactured by first machine given that it is defective. That is P of E1 given A you have to find. So this will be P of E1 into P of A by E1 applying Bayes theorem divided by P of E1 into P of A by E1 plus P of E2 into P of A by E2, which is summation of. So what are all the probabilities you have? Substitute here. After simplification, you will get the probability as 0.6522. Similarly, another problem, second problem. Suppose that a factory has two machines, machine A and machine B, both producing JFone touchscreens. 40% of the touchscreens come from machine A, 60% of the touchscreens come from machine B, 10% of the touchscreens produced by machine A are defective, and 5% of the touchscreens from machine B are defective. If I randomly select a touchscreen from those produced by both machines and find that it is defective, what is the probability that it came from machine A? So here also three events are given to you. One is touchscreens manufactured by machine A, machine B, and another third one is it's a defective touchscreen. So here again three events I will define. E1, that event that JFone touchscreens produced by machine A, E2 the event that JFone touchscreens produced by machine B, D is the touchscreens produced are defective. Instead of A, here I have taken as D because in the problem already it is given as A and B. So to avoid confusion, I have taken as D. Now P of E1 is given as 40%, that is 0.40. P of E2 is given as 60%, 0.60. P of D by E1 is 0.10. P of D by E2 is 0.02. Now probability of selecting a touchscreen from machine A given that it is defective, that is P of A given D. So P of E1 given D. Again same formula, P of E1 into P of D by E1 divided by P of E1 into P of D by E1 plus P of E2 into P of D given E2. So substitute the respective probabilities, you will get the answer. Thank you.